Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy. You know who it is. Number one bass lolly rapping, Killing Spree Records. I'm here with the House of Champions. They've blessed me into their home, and right now I'm talking to the man, the legend, the one and only William Presley Brake. How's it going, Billy?
AKA Billy Brake.
Oh, AKA Master Pendulum.
Yeah, AKA Master Pendulum.
AKA
it's going
the
well.
Master Pendulum.
Doing well.
All right, so you got top.
Top 16 at the ARG Dallas.
Very nice, very nice. This is your deck?
Yep, that's what I used. It's very similar. I mean, Denny built the version of the deck, and he got third at the UDS last weekend. And this is just like the next kind of step that I took it to try a lot of different things out.
Tell us about it.
All right. Well, a lot of the problems that the Pendulum deck had for me at the UDS last weekend was just drawing a bunch of low scales and not being able to summon my monsters and breaking in a sense, I guess. And then also having to deal with back rows and everything. So I wanted to try and fix that problem. So I maxed out on Archie and Eccentric because he's a high scale that not only removes back rows and like destroys monsters, he just does everything. Like obviously, it's not good to draw a bunch of them, but it still works out really well. Like he's way more solid a card than people give him credit for. And then I also went with like 3 Guiding Ariadne, just because this card is so good going first, obviously, because you get to set up and search for counter traps, and your opponent doesn't even really get to play the game. But going second, if they have counter traps like strike and stuff, you need to be able to pendulum summon out like a Guiding Ariadne, and then when they strike it, you actually still get value to get a trap card, and then fight them off in their following turn, and maybe make a game out of it. Let's see, is there anything else that's really weird?
Chaos Trap Hole.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I went with the Chaos Trap Hole because I'm playing 3 Guiding Ariadne, and I want to be able to search 3 times if possible. Like, that's nice. And also, like, anytime you draw, like, this, if you were to draw this without this, all the Guiding Ariadnes would do nothing. And that happens a lot, actually, when you're playing 40 cards or you're playing upstarts and stuff. So I really wanted to add it, and I think it was just the next best counter trap because it hits all 3 of the decks. Like, everyone talks about, it's Cosmo, and, like, but the Monarchs don't really, like, Erebus, like Chaos Trapping on Erebus can just be game, like because they always set up Return of the Monarchs to tribute for Erebus to dodge strike because that's what they think you have. And if you Chaos Trap and banish it, it can just end the game and they're done. But yeah, the 2 Silver Claw is also important because he's a high scale. People like you look at this card and it's like it's a beatdown monster, but a high scale like 1800 that goes to 21 that also boosts your guy in the scale. Like running over Magister Paladin is really important. He does a lot more than people give know even. Painful Decision. This is another card I'm talking about. Denny used it. Like it's just you need to get Master Pendulum. Like you need to be able to have access to Dinoster. He's like the strongest card in your extra deck, and yeah, so it's very important. This card's like, if you're not using it, I don't know what you're doing.
So do you want to talk a little bit about? So this is another card that stood out.
Mystical Space Typhoon.
Like,
so I've been playing it like for so long now. I forgot it's like not normal. But instead of Twin Twister, I use Mystical Space Typhoon because there's really nothing I want to discard on my deck. Sure, you could say I could discard a Master Pendulum and summon it back with a Dinoster, but I could just Pendulum summon this from my hand and not have to discard it. And most of the time, like, let's say you were to draw like these 2 together. This is the exact same thing as like a Twin Twister, but instead of discarding a card, I'm gaining a card in my extra deck. And also, if they only have 1 back row, I can just Typhoon their 1 back row and still have my high scale. So like, even though it's a 2-card combo, it's still significantly better than Twin Twister in my opinion. And this card's just amazing to me. And you can also like draw it turn 1 with like Guiding Ariadne. I mean, it's not ideal, but sometimes you can turn this into like a counter trap just by Typhooning it. If you're gonna like Pendulum summon it back, and then you actually don't lose any value. This Unexpected Die, it was okay all weekend. It's good going second because if you can have Unexpected Die Draco face off, you get to like fill your extra deck without normal summoning or pendulum summoning and put a threat on the board. Yeah. So that's the only reason I like 1, but I didn't want to run 2 because I ran 2 at the UDS and just drawing 2 just isn't very good. You're playing with like very few cards. Right. And also this also goes to get the Master Pendulum and sometimes Vector, but getting this guy is very important.
I noticed you're not playing Rescue Rabbit.
Yeah, most people play Rescue Rabbit. I don't want to play anything that's not a Pendulum monster. Rescue Rabbit like can lose the Veiler, a Maxi, like all the like hand traps, all these traps like bottomless on both your masters. That can really hurt because then you only have 1 master left in your deck. I mean it's a good card, but I also hate it from back in the day because Dino Rabbit's one of my least favorite decks of all time. Sure. So I refuse to use that card. That's not the only reason. There's other, actually legitimate reasons behind it. So that's probably it for the main deck.
Sure. Extra deck looks pretty.
I used 3 Wavering Eyes. That's kind of weird.
Oh,
but I'm just kidding.
Is it still? I noticed you're playing. So one thing I wanted to ask about is you're not playing, even though you're playing Decisions. And they didn't do this either, but you guys aren't playing Instant Fusion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Instant Fusion. Well, it's getting better now.
Or Soul Charge. Sorry.
Or Soul Charge. Yeah. Soul Charge is they're just cards that don't do anything for me turn 1 really. And like instant fusion, most of the time, the only thing you're gonna make is what Diamond Direwolf, Castell, and I think MST is just kind of better because you can't brick with it as well. Like, I mean, instant fusion is a really solid card, and I do need to test it more. But the main reason is like it's not a pendulum monster, so I kind of it doesn't make anything here. It can only make these 5 cards, which I mean, they're good, but not that great compared to what I'm trying to do actually. But when Utopia the Lightning is legal, that actually makes instant fusion way better because now your instant fusion can turn into a 5,000 attack monster that can run over anything. So I might have to like take some time to look into that again.
Sure. And then the last card, I guess, for like the main and extra, it would be Phantom Knight's Breaksword. Obviously, one of my favorite cards for very obvious reasons.
Yeah, the Phantom Knights.
But did that come up at all over the weekend? I know you can only make it.
It came up one. Yeah, it came up one time. It's definitely the least made card in my extra deck, but I'm gonna be cutting it to make room for Utopia and Utopia Lightning. But it's really solid. It's just a good option to have. Like sometimes your bad hands would involve like drawing multiple Lizard Draw and Archon Eccentrics like together, and so like even if you do that and you have a way to pendulum summon, I can still do something with my rank 3s to deal and go for a game a lot of times. And like having like Ariadne in your scale, being able to make this guy pop Ariadne, destroy their monster, search for a counter trap. Like that's the ideal thing to happen. It doesn't come up very often, but it's just a solid option. This was Rhapsody and Berserk, which I think is a really good card, and probably should have played that over it because that card's really good against Monarchs. Because if you're able to force them to prime and then kill their prime and then you Rhapsody their primes, it can really get in there. And then I played 3 Dinosaur, 3 Ignister. Oh, yeah. People think that's weird, but you make them a lot. Like if you go first, you're summoning like 2 of these guys, 1 of these guys sometimes, and this 3rd Dinosaur might not be needed, but it comes up like fairly often, especially in the mirror match when you're striking. He's the most important card, and you just don't ever want to run out.
I know you're not playing like Daigusto Emerald or anything like that, so I guess maxing out is.
Denny played Daigusto Emerald over the 3rd Dinosaur at the UDS, but he said he'd rather just play the 3rd Dinosaur because Emerald just never comes up. Really, it just doesn't do enough.
Sure. Yeah. Let me see if I have any other.
So grand. This guy's gonna turn into a different guy. This guy's gonna be become Hope Bringer when that comes out in Premium Gold.
Oh yeah, it is insane.
Do you have your side deck on?
Oh yeah, my side deck. Here, I'll just move my extra deck.
So other than the Utopia the Lightning things, is there anything in the main deck you'd change? Moving forward?
Not yet. I mean, there's different things you can cut. Like if you cut the unexpected die, you could. And maybe the 3rd Vector. I might cut this for a 3rd Painful Decision, possibly, just because opening up this card is very good. Because if you haven't figured out, like sending a Master Grave out of your hand almost guarantees you're gonna be able to make a Dinoster, and so you're gonna get free Master. So it's like this gives you 2 monsters like for 1 card. So it's really important. And the games are a lot easier when you draw this. And then the side deck. Alright, 3 Maxis. To be honest, I only sided this card just in case people were playing Crystal Blanc's Synchro deck. I really don't like this card against anything else, but you're like, it's the only thing I sided it for because I was just scared of that deck, but of course I didn't run into it. Only because I don't know how to play against it. I sided 3 Masker Strict.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Monarchs. 1 Regeki. I said I want to go 2nd against Monarchs, but I really don't like this card either. I said I want to go 2nd, I guess, in the mirror, but I'm still not a fan. I decided 3 System down for Cosmo. I played 1 Cosmo in the 1K, but didn't draw it, didn't come up. I think it's really good because they're focused on Tin Can and stuff now, but I don't know. I didn't actually get to test it. I decided 2 Magic Deflector for Monarchs. This is from Jeff Jones. Thanks to the UDS. Showed me this card. I've been looking for a card that stopped Monarch Stormforth. But this card's really good. It can stop Twin Twister and Stormforth, Teleport, Domain, like everything. Off. Yeah, if you draw these 2 together and they try and Twin Twister, you just chain.
It's done.
Yeah, this card's really good.
Would you ever consider siding this card against a mirror match? Because you play it for like, we talked about the other day, Wavering, MSG/Twin Twister, Draco Face Off. That's like 9 cards.
I've thought about it, but it could be hit or miss, and like I don't know if it's like worth giving up the card in the mirror match. Because if I have this set and they're just like scale, pendulum summon, I'm like, I'm all mad. That doesn't do it. Yeah, so I don't know. It's tough to say, but I really only put it against Monarchs. Continuing against Monarchs, I decided 2 Chaos Travel. Because against Monarchs, I want to leave Ariadne in because everyone knows this card's not that great against Monarchs. Besides striking Aether on your own turn, but because they play return and play around it. But if I side in the 2 Chaos Travels and I destroy the Ariadne on the first one, I can reveal Chaos Travels, Chaos Travels, Chaos Travels. So they have to give me 1. And then on the second one, I can reveal Chaos Travels, Solemn Warning, and they have to give me 1 again. So I have 2 things that can stop just their normal summons, which is pretty devastating against most Monarchs. and as long as they're not playing, Megathus Dallas, which is what I ended up playing against in top 16 and losing to. So my strategy did not pan out well against Megathus Dallas.
Almost there.
I was almost there, but yeah. And then I started the third Mystical Space Typhoon because it's good. Monarchs destroy things.
Yeah. So Twin Twister's just nowhere on the board.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I just think Mystical Space Typhoon is an overall better card in this deck because there's nothing ever I want to discard, and all your cards are like very precious. Like sure you can discard an extra monster, a master, or something, but like you don't have like the resources like in the old Bosch deck to just keep piling on the monsters. I can't monkey Joker every turn. You have to play a grind game sometimes, and it's good. Your resources actually matter.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you change in the side at all?
I would think about changing one of the. I want to fit Rhapsody and Berserk in here if it wasn't in my extra deck. But besides that, no, there's nothing I really wanted. I might feel like a Ghost Ogre in possibly. I don't have any right now, actually, but that's not the reason why I didn't side it. But yeah, I might feel like one Ghost Ring over this Maxi. That's probably what I was thinking.
It really feels like you almost like reformat your deck for the Monarch matchup, and you don't really do much for the mirror match. So No, I actually barely side anything for the mirror match. I just it's the same way in Bosch. I all out of Atlanta, I didn't side anything for the mirror match when I went first because I built my deck to beat the mirror match when I go first. Even though there's not many of these mirror matches yet, but I think they're going to be a little more relevant now. Mm-hmm. They all had a pretty big showing at the ARG and at
Prague.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Prague deck was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So, thank you, Billy, Willie. I'm so sorry. I tried to do something, didn't happen.
It's cool.
But
I can be Willie.
The man, the legend, the Master Pendulum.
Master Pendulum.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this deck profile. And this is Base Lolly, featured on the HoC Champions. Was good. Shout to John Moore. Shout to everybody. And while I'm giving shout outs, do you want to give any personal shout outs?
Shout outs to the Secret Village. And Zach and Tom Still for playing with me, play testing, coming over and just grinding it out and figuring things out for this format.
Great.